Welcome to the Stress-Free Dentist Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Block. As always, I want to inspire, entertain, and educate you on the best tools and technologies out there. My goal is to help make your practice and career more profitable, efficient, and most importantly, more enjoyable. And check out all of my nonfiction and children's books on Amazon, and check out the stressfreedentist.com for any upcoming events. And if you're feeling you're a dental professional that's burnt out, or you just feel stuck or want to get to that next level, visit the International Academy of Dental Life Coaches or www.iadlc.com, and we'll get you matched up with a life coach that understands dentistry. I also wanted to thank our amazing sponsor, Equa Marketing. They have helped me and my practice over the years to improve with SEO and website performance. And to find out how you can make your practice dominate in your area, go to www.equa.com/MSMSFD to book your complimentary meeting. Again, that's www.ekwa.com/MSMSFD. All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode. And today I am joined by Dr. Orest Kominski. How you doing today, Orest?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on your show.
Did I get your name right?
Close enough.
Close enough. Yeah, I'll take that. Great. Orest, you sent me quite the bio, and you've got, sounds like quite an interesting take on things and story, and you're a men's coach. And I first want to just find out how you got into dentistry, because you used to practice periodontology, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I was a periodontist for 34 years. It was a lifetime.
And where did you practice?
I practiced in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was a solo practitioner for essentially all that time. So knew all the. You're kind of out there alone when you're a solo practitioner.
And after dental school, how did you decide to become a periodontist?
Well, I went into general dentistry for a couple of years, and I knew that I didn't really enjoy it that much. And so I decided that I want to go back into periodontics. And so that's when I went back and did my residency at USC, University of Spoiled Children, and which was a big difference from Indiana University dental school culturally. And so I did that. And the interesting thing is that I was the last graduating class in my residency that did not do dental implants. And within about 24 months, everything I learned in my residency was obsolete.
Mm. So you had to take it upon yourself to take courses and learn whole new treatment modalities after school.
Right. You know, when I was in my residency, periodontics was resective. You know, we did lots of gingivectomies, lots of osteosurgery, lots of that. And then when I graduated, within a year, I was at a dental implant meeting. And this was a long time ago. This is like ancient history. They were trying to the Brandemark people introduced implants to North America. And they wanted to have, quote unquote, only oral surgeons do dental implants. And they were going to train 100 teams. And that went out the window real fast. And I was actually the first meeting, it was in Toronto, Canada, where periodontists were actually introduced to dental implants by the Brandemark people. And I was actually, I believe I was probably one of the first, if not the first person to do dental implants in Phoenix. And then we also did a lot of stuff called guided tissue regeneration, which was regenerating a ligament around teeth with defects. And W.L. Gore was big into that stuff for a long time. Then eventually they stopped doing it. But so that, like I said, we went from being a resective surgeon to a regenerative surgeon, and then over the years, using lots of different things like platelet-rich plasma, Emdogain, all sorts of stuff.
And after 34 years, did you end up selling your practice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sold my practice. I was done. Quite frankly, like many dentists, I at the end I really did not enjoy practicing dentistry, and it was time for me to leave because quite frankly, actually, I hated going to the office, and I knew that it was time for me to leave because I had no interest in learning new stuff, and that was a definite sign. I mean, going to a dental meeting. I used to enjoy going to dental meetings, and going to dental meetings became tedious, and I hated it. And so I knew it was time for me to leave because I was not seeking to be a better version of myself as a periodontist. And when you do that, you fall behind very quickly on technology. And there's a big seismic shift that was occurring in dentistry, which I did not really want to participate in terms of a lot of CAD. Actually, I did a lot of CAD CAM stuff and things like that, but it was becoming more digital, all sorts of stuff. And I'd done all that using CT scans for dental implant planning and all sorts of stuff. But like I said, I wasn't really interested in the newer generation of those kind of products and all that it would take to keep up with the technology that was evolving around me. And so consequently, it was time for me to go.
Yeah, well, good for you for realizing that it was time for you to move on, and now you have a whole second career. Is that right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I pivoted completely. There's a couple of things that I tried that didn't quite work out the way I wanted to. But now I'm a men's life coach, and who I deal with mostly is men who are financially successful that have paid a price for that financial success in their personal lives with their significant other, their kids, and also in terms of their fitness. And when I have a podcast also, and it's on hold right now. I stopped doing podcasts right now, probably until the first of the year. But I spent a lot of time in terms of in the anti-aging space. And so I interviewed a lot of doctors that I would say were at tip of the spear doctors in terms of regenerative medicine and anti-aging medicine. They call it functional medicine now. I don't know why they call it functional medicine, because when I say anti-aging, everybody knows what I mean. When I say functional medicine, you have to spend 5 minutes explaining what that is. So it's kind of it's one of those things. But and I'm a big believer in anti-aging medicine. And I've been I laugh about it. I call it better living through science. And my personal journey in that started over 25 years ago when I started taking testosterone. And I've been on testosterone for over 25 years. And everything that my primary care doctor told me would happen never happened. And actually, there's a brand new study that came out a few months ago that talked about all the myths that your primary care doctor will tell you about heart disease, prostate cancer, high blood pressure, your balls are going to fall off, all that stuff. It doesn't happen. There's actually a very good study. It's 2,500 men, double blind, a placebo group and a non-placebo group, and they found that all of those things that people were saying happen if you get on testosterone don't happen.
And you said 25 years ago you started taking testosterone. How did you know you were low, or were you feeling tired? Was it a blood test? Take us through that journey.
Okay, so I got on it because I had a friend who was on it, and he was about 220 pounds at 5% body fat. And he was a bodybuilder. He was a bodybuilder. And so he was also, I happened to be a dentist also. And I got on it because I was in my 40s, and I started to notice I was getting low energy. Now, the thing about blood tests, and so this is a caution, and I'm not a physician, so consult with the appropriate, my disclaimer is consult with the appropriate healthcare professional before starting any therapy or going on any course of treatment. But the deal about blood tests is how the ranges are calculated. The ranges are calculated based on the average of the people that take the blood test. So there is what's called a Massachusetts Normative Male Aging Study. It was published in the New England Journal of Medicine. And they talk about generational decline of testosterone levels in men. And they pointed out it's very significant. A man 60 years old today has about 17% less testosterone than a 60-year-old man 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so what's happened is that these averages of what's normal are dropping down. Just recently, a number of the lab companies have dropped the high normal was 1100, now it's 960. Okay, so this is where you have to be careful about when you look at these averages and what those numbers actually mean. 30 years ago, the high normal was 1500. Okay, and so that's what all those numbers mean. Now, as a result, I'm 72, and I feel like I'm 40. I'm full of piss and vinegar, and I've got energy. I've got strength. I'm in the gym. I'm pushing heavy. I'm still a power lifter. That's what I like to do. I'm working my way up from the injury back to 100-pound dumbbell bench pressing. I'm at 80 pounds now. Should be by the end of the year, I'll be back to 100. But the most important thing about testosterone for men is that, and I've talked to a lot of men, I've counseled a lot of men about this, it's an incredible antidepressant. Mm-hmm. It just has you feeling full of energy, can-do, assertiveness, keeps muscle mass on, helps with your bone density, helps with your libido. You hear what I run into is two things a lot of times in my coaching program. One is the man has no interest in sex, or the wife doesn't want to have sex. Both things are relatively common, and the libido thing for a man is huge. And I was talking to a man who's on the beginning of my coaching program, and he was talking about how he doesn't feel like he's got power anymore, and he's in his early 50s, and it's a fairly easy thing to solve if you have the right physicians that are not that don't want to fit you into that normal range, which is changing and dropping all the time. The other thing that I was, and you probably have a number of younger listeners, what's happening in the whole testosterone area of masculinity is that the doctors who I've interviewed on this subject, and I've had probably about 10 or so plus interviews on testosterone and optimization, what they're saying is that they're finding men showing up in their 20s and early 30s with lower baseline testosterone levels than men in their 50s and 60s, which is it's a huge issue. I have a friend of mine whose two sons in their 20s, they were in the low 200s, and that was like, you shouldn't be in that range, and it affected them how they were in the world. They had they weren't dating. They were lethargic. All they did was play video games. I don't know how much porn they were watching, but it's a huge issue, and a lot of young women are noticing it because they're saying, like, where are the men?
Mm-hmm. And how is testosterone taken? Is it an injection? Is it a supplement? What are you seeing out there?
Well, okay, so the supplements that get advertised, because of they can't make false claims. They will raise your testosterone levels, but not significantly, not to where you're going to notice. You're certainly not in a significant way. I've done everything from creams to pellets to injections. The most reliable source is injections. I do my injections twice a week, and the reason for that, is the half life of testosterone citrate is 8 to 10 days. So if you do it once a week, you're already on the downhill slide. And so taking it twice a week keeps me very level in terms of my testosterone levels. I don't have any peaks and valleys.
And where do you inject yourself?
In the thigh. I mean, it's just easy. It's a big muscle. That's easy. Just like, and we're so used to as dentists, we're so used to giving people injections, and it's like it's no big deal in the thigh. And you use it I use a small 25 gauge needle, and that's it's not even like a pinprick anymore.
Would it be weird if I gave myself a mandibular block of the testosterone?
Yeah, it's a. There's actually a video that I watched where a dentist in France did his own extraction. Holy crap!
Yeah, I'm all set with that.
No, thank you.
And now, where do you get the testosterone from? Is it from your physician?
I get mine from my urologist. Quite often, if they are informed, they don't have a problem with that, and mine doesn't. I've had several doctors. I've had 25 years. I've had several doctors, including one that went to prison. But his reception area looked like a casting call room for the WWF, and he was giving all outside testosterone. He was giving people all sorts of other crazy shit. He got busted by the DEA.
Why do you think it's such an issue in the last generation or two? Why do you think that people have less testosterone?
It's not just testosterone. There's an article in the Annals of Physiology, which is it's not a tinfoil hat journal. It's highly refereed journal to get in there, and it's a long study. It took about 10 years to write it. One of the signed authors is an epidemiologist at NYU, and comes out of Hebrew University in Israel. And what they talk about is that endocrine disrupting compounds, like your plastics, your GMOs, the fertilizers that are used in our food, all sorts of things, are affecting women in utero. And as we get as they get old, the testicles don't drop at the right time in utero, male. So consequently, they have malformed testicles and don't produce the testosterone that they should. And they also end up not producing semen at the levels that they used to. So consequently, semen levels have dropped by 50% in the last 30 years. And the slope of that drop is such that the slope is not dropping, it's not abating, it's not leveling off or anything. And their prediction is that most men in the world will be infertile by 2050. So don't worry about overpopulation. That's not going to be an issue. And literally, you see it in the statistics. And you can Google this in your chat GPT. Many countries, including the United States, just recently entered this realm, are not reproducing at a level to replace the population that is dying off. The worst is South Korea. It's 2.1 births per woman in a population to replace the population. South Korea is under 1, so is Japan. The United States is at 1.67. And so this has all sorts of ramifications for people, in terms of, from Social Security to a whole bunch of other things. Sorry, I'm just they're walking through. So it has all, what was it like when they first had Social Security started? I think it was like 30 or 60 people to support one person on Social Security. Now we're down to 4, and this population thing we're going to be down to 1 or 2. So it has all sorts of ramifications around the world. China, that one child policy Lots of people are predicting that they're going to go from 1.5 billion people to 700 million in the 22nd century.
Wow.
Yeah. So this, very few people are talking about it. Actually, more people are not starting talking about the birth rate because it's affecting so many countries in so many different ways.
All right. Wow. This has been an enlightening conversation. Now, two final questions. Number one is, how do we find out more about what you're up to? And the second question is, what advice would you give to the young dentists out there?
Okay. First one is you can reach out to me, and if you're interested in coaching with me, my coaching program is 12 weeks, one-on-one, and also a on-demand video program that's 7 weeks with exercises. And we focus on results. That's the whole point. I'm not here to make you feel happy or good or any of that kind of bullshit. What should make you happy is getting the results that you want in your life. And you can get on a call with me by going to www.thestandard.academy/discovery call. The other place, if you want, my course is also available. The on-demand portion you can buy, you can get that on your own. It's $97, and you go to www.thestandard.academy/results, and then you can find me. You can DM me on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever. Orest Kominski is easy to find. It's not like John Jones. There's like 1,000, several thousand. The advice for a young dentist, and part of this has to do with, especially if you're in private practice, I recommend strongly that you hire a consultant, okay, to take you through the whole process of running a business. Because when we graduate from dental school, we don't know shit about running a business. And a consultant will accelerate your learning curve in an incredible way. I've had several consultants. I've had some that the first consultant I had, it didn't work out. And the reason it didn't work out is because I didn't do any of the shit that they told me to do. And so I actually, for a while there, I blamed them until I was honest with myself. And I said, like, okay, you didn't do it. No wonder you didn't get your results, because you didn't do what they told you to do. But they're going to be expensive. It's a huge investment. But and I talk about this, also in my coaching program. It's kind of like, okay, you're down. What you're doing now is probably cost you maybe $100,000 or $200,000. And if you change that, you're going to get that back. But you need coaching to do that. And so consultants also do, they're basically coaches for your practice. And I've had some fantastic consultants that, one of them actually, basically resurrected me from, I was on life support. My practice was on life support. And within just a few months, we were able to turn around. I was actually making money, which was unusual. And, the other thing is that be conscious of the economy in your practice, especially I was mostly discretionary care, dental implants, essentially, and regenerative gingival surgery are discretionary care items. And I've lived through 3 recessions. The worst one was in 2007. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you were in practice then, but yeah. it was literally overnight. Mm-hmm. My gross revenue was cut by 50%. It was like all of a sudden I was just working just to pay overhead. And, that lasted for quite a while. It was long. Most of the time the recessions, you jump in and jump out. And it would be a year or two, but this one was lasted about 8 years in reality. And people talk about, well, not nutritional economics, professor recession or whatever, but people weren't spending money.
Yeah,
they were scared. They were scared, and they weren't spending money.
Mm-hmm.
And so it showed up. And so I would say be conscious of the economic climate. I make I don't hide the fact that I'm a big Trump supporter, and if he's not elected, we're economically, with all the things, and the inflation's going to come back and everything else. I mean, you go to Chipotle, it's $18 for a burrito. I mean, really, $18 for a burrito? I just like, and unfortunately, we're in a position where we can absorb the inflation, but I mean, some people are not in a position like that, and so I think this is probably the most important election of my lifetime. I've been around for a long time. I've been around for soon to be 72 years.
Man, good stuff. I really appreciate you coming on and being so honest and giving such great advice. And look forward to keeping in touch with you. Thanks again, Dr. Orest.
All right. Thanks for having me on, Eric.
Thanks again for listening to the Stress Free Dentist podcast. And don't hesitate to get in touch with me at info@thestressfreedentist.com. And if you haven't already, please subscribe on your favorite platform and leave us a review. Until the next episode, I'm Dr. Eric Block, the Stress Free Dentist.